Good day, everyone. Today, I'm going to talk about the human digestive system, which is one of the most essential systems in our body. It is responsible for processing food we eat, turning it into nutrients and energy our body needs to function, grow, and repair itself. So the digestive system consists of gastrointestinal tract, a continuous tube that includes the mouth, pharynx, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, rectum, and anus. Alongside, these are the accessory organs, such as tongue, salivary gland, pancreas, liver, and gallbladder, which help the digestive tract by producing enzymes, bile, and other substances that aid in breaking down food. So let's move on to the main function of the digestive system. So the main function of the digestive system are to ingest food, break down it into smaller components, absorb nutrients, and remove waste from the body. Simply put, it transforms what we eat into usable energy, vitamins, minerals, and other nutrients, which our body uses for growth, repairing tissues, and keeping all our organs working properly. Without a healthy digestive system, our bodies would not be able to get energy or nutrients necessary to survive and stay healthy. So, after understanding what the digestive system is and why it is so important, let's look at how it actually works. The process of digestion happens in four main steps. Each step has a specific role in turning the food we eat into energy and nutrients our body can use. So first, we have ingestion. The first step, which simply means taking food in through the mouth. For example, when we eat rice, vegetable, or meat, that is ingestion. Our teeth help break down the food into smaller pieces, and our saliva start to soften it so it can move easily down the digestive tract. Second, we have digestion. In this step, food is breaking down into smaller, absorbent parts. Digestion helps in two main ways. So in digestion, we have two main ways. The first is mechanical digestion. This is the physical breaking down of food. Again, mechanical digestion is the physical breaking down of food into smaller pieces. It starts when we chew food in the mouth and continues when the stomach churns the food, mixing and squeezing it into smaller bits so it's easier to digest. Second, we have chemical digestion. This is the breaking down of food using chemicals. So chemical digestion again is the breaking down of food using chemicals like enzymes and acids. For example, we have amylase. In saliva turns starch like rice or bread into sugar. Pepsin in the stomach breaks down proteins like meat or eggs into smaller parts. And the last one is bile. From the liver breaks fat into tiny droplets so enzymes can digest them more easily. So, in short, mechanical digestion breaks food into smaller pieces, while chemical digestion turns into molecules that your body can use for energy and nutrients. So let's move on. The third is absorption. Once food is broken down, the nutrients are absorbed into the bloodstream or lymph system. This is how our body gets the fuel it needs. For instance, the glucose from carbohydrates goes into the bloodstream to provide energy, while vitamins and minerals are absorbed to support growth and keep our organs healthy. So the last is elimination. Finally, the waste that the body cannot use is removed from the body as feces through the anus. This step ensures that only the nutrients we need stays in our body and the rest is safely expelled. By following these four steps, ingestion, digestion, absorption, and elimination, our digestive system makes sure our body gets energy and nutrients from the food we eat while efficiently getting rid of what we don't need.
To better understand how digestion works, let's follow the journey of food as it travels through the digestive system. The pathway goes like this: mouth, pharynx, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, rectum, and finally the anus. Along this journey, each organ plays a specific role. The mouth begins the process by breaking down foods. The stomach continues the breakdown and start digestion, and the intestines absorb nutrients. Finally, the remaining waste moves through the rectum and is expelled through the anus. By looking at the digestive system step by step, we can see how each part works together to turn what we eat into energy and nutrients, while removing what our body doesn't need. Now that we've seen the overall journey of food through the digestive system, let's take a closer look at the main organs involved and what each one does. Each organ has a specific role in breaking down food, absorbing nutrients, or removing waste. So first things first, mouth. Digestion begins in the mouth. It all starts in the mouth, where digestion begins. Your teeth chop the food into smaller pieces, while your tongue helps mix it with saliva, a water liquid that contains special helpers called enzymes. One enzyme, amylase, starts turning starch, like in rice or bread, into sugar, and another is lingual lipase, begins breaking down fats. The food is shaped into a soft ball called a bolus, so it's easy to swallow. Then, the tongue helps push the bolus to the back of the mouth and into the pharynx, which is basically the throat. The pharynx is like a traffic officer. It guides the food toward the esophagus, a muscular tube, making sure it doesn't go down the windpipe or the trachea. It is the tube that carries air to your lungs. So imagine the windpipe as a tunnel for air. So if food accidentally enters there, it can make you choke. So the esophagus, a muscular tube. It uses peristalsis, a wave-like squeezing motion of muscles to push the bolus down into the stomach. Even if you're lying down or moving, this motion keeps the food moving in the right direction. So it acts as a vital passageway, guiding the food safely towards the stomach where further digestion awaits. In the stomach, a muscular sac where food is mixed with gastric juice. It is a strong mixture of hydrochloric acid and enzymes like pepsin that starts breaking down proteins. The stomach also makes mucus to protect itself from the acid. The stomach doesn't just sit there. It churns, which means it mixes and squeezes the food until it becomes a thick, semi-liquid mixture called chyme. Think of it like a blender, slowly turning solid food into a soft soup. For example, if you ate a chicken, the stomach breaks its proteins into smaller pieces that are easier for your body to absorb later. From there, the chyme moves into the small intestine, the longest part of the digestive system. This is where most of the nutrients are absorbed. Enzymes from the pancreas and bile from the liver continue breaking down carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. Nutrients like sugar, amino acids, fatty acids, vitamins, mineral, and water are absorbed into the bloodstream or lymph, which carry them to every part of your body. So for instance, fats from cooking oil are broken down with the help of bile, so your body can use them for energy. Next, the leftover material goes into the large intestine, also called the colon, where water and minerals are absorbed. Friendly bacteria in the colon also help produce vitamins like vitamin K and digest some fibers. Eventually, the waste turn into feces, which are stored in the rectum until your body is ready to get rid of them. Finally, the anus is the exit point, and releasing the waste is called defecation. So every time you eat, your food goes on an amazing journey through your digestive system, with each organ doing its own important job. By knowing what each part does, we can understand how the digestive system works together to turn food into energy and nutrients that our body can use while safely getting rid of what we don't need. So while the main organs of the digestive system move and process food, there are accessory organs that play a very important supporting role. They don't carry food themselves, but they produce important substances that help break food down and absorb nutrients. So let's go through each one. Salivary glands. These glands are in your mouth and produce saliva, a watery fluid that keeps food soft and greasy to swallow. Saliva also contains enzymes, which are special proteins that speed up chemical reactions. One enzyme, just like I mentioned earlier, amylase, start breaking down starches in foods like rice, bread, or potatoes in sugar, which your body can use for energy. Another enzyme, just like I mentioned earlier, lingual lipase, starts breaking down small amounts of fat in the mouth. So think as saliva as the food's first helper in digestion. That's why saliva is so important in our body. It helps our food digest easily. Liver. The liver produces bile, a yellowish green liquid that helps digest fats. Fats in food often clump together in big droplets, and enzymes have trouble breaking them down. So bile acts like a detergent, breaking the large fat droplets into smaller droplets. So digestive enzymes can work on them more easily. So for example for this is that when you eat a piece of fried chicken or oil and vegetables, bile helps your body digest the fats so it can be used for energy or stored for later. Third, gallbladder. The gallbladder is a small pouch under the liver that stores bile and makes it more concentrated, meaning it removes some of the water in bile to make it stronger and more powerful. So when you eat a fatty meal, the gallbladder releases bile into the small intestine to help break down the fat. You can think of it as a bile storage tank that sends out just the right amount when it's needed. So the gallbladder, so think of it as a bile storage tank. So lastly, the pancreas. The pancreas is a long organ behind the stomach that make digestive enzymes for all types of food. It produces enzymes that break down carbohydrates, proteins, and fats so your body can absorb the nutrients. It also produces bicarbonate, a substance that neutralizes the acid from the stomach before the food enters the small intestine, protecting it from damage. So for example of this is when you eat a slice of pizza, the pancreas help digest the cheese, dough, and oil so your body can absorb the sugar, fat, and protein. So, together, these accessory organs make digestion faster and more effective, ensuring that your body can get all the nutrients it needs from the food you eat. Without them, digestion would be more slower and your body might not get enough energy or nutrients to stay healthy.